Welcome to the RNR Dust Stuff podcast where the retro computing, gaming, and hobbies collide.
Hello, everybody, back from the lab and online. Welcome for another awesome episode of R&R Does Stuff. We did stuff. It's been a while. I know. We both have been places. We both have done a little bit, and we're here to tell you about it. How are you doing today, Rich?
You know, every one of our podcasts is awesome. I just want everyone to know that. Like, subscribe, comment below that, yes, you enjoy listening to us catch up every 3 weeks or so, because that's the beauty. And we do get to keep ourselves motivated on our projects. And I am a little jealous of your travels, Ryan. You got to meet up with the one and only Larry.
Yeah, it was Larry, Amy, and myself all made a trip on out to Origins, out to Ohio. Amy and I went out a little early and did a couple extra stops ahead of time. So we found a really neat Lego museum in a little town of eastern Ohio. It was actually super cool. It looks like they had, I don't know if they bought it or got, it looks like it was an old school that they converted into a Lego museum. So all the different classrooms had different Lego things in them. It was really neat.
What is this? And where is the link for it? We got to put this in the show notes, bud. Is this one that is like very well known, or was it just a complete Atlas Obscura kind of find?
It was a little bit of Atlas Obscura, but I think we saw it on a billboard on a previous trip. Because we were looking at going like last year, and then we did other stuff, and we never got there. And then this year we decided, it's hot, or it was raining, or both, I don't remember. And it's like, let's go do this thing. I think we spent like 2 hours there, 3 hours there. It was really cool.
Well, I'm going to look forward to crawling that one. That sounds like one to definitely see what they have online. That's really neat that they had such a display scenario, such as, like VCF East. They have some diorama locations. They have some equipment areas, and you go between the different offices. And so every office has its own theme. That's neat. They could do that with the rooms. What was the best themed room in your opinion?
Wow, it was a mix. I mean, they had like a train layout. Oh, they actually had a band. I don't know where it was, like Legoland or Lego, I don't know where it was. I don't remember. But it was like a Lego band, and you could hit a button and they actually played music and had animatronic Lego guys. It was really, really cool. So highly recommended that. That was really neat. I'll find a link. I wish I knew what it was.
That's one of those things. It's such an oddity place to find that when you do find it, it's sometimes hard to remember where it was, because you saw a billboard sign that led you to another year to stop in. That's pretty cool. But yes, if we find it, we'll put it in the show notes. But
I just found it.
Oh,
it's
excellent.
Actually called Brick Museum, and it's in Bel Air, Ohio. It was right off of, it was pretty easy to get to, right off the interstate. So really, really cool. They were making it work, and I highly recommend it. Now, you can tell that they don't have Lego corporate funding and stuff like that. So there were some places that they needed to do, there was some painting work and things like that. But it was an old school. It was a great use for it. It was really cool. I highly recommend it. It was really neat, and they were really friendly. It was like super. It was like $8 a person to get in. It was unbelievably cheap.
Again, someone's passion project that got so big, and then they get to now classify it as a museum, hopefully as a nonprofit, so they can continue this craziness and have a place to show and share. That's really cool. Anything else you bumped into while there?
That was the big thing we stopped at. it was just really cool. Go check out the link in the show note. I found a little gallery of some photos, and I'll let you go explore that on your own. So we did that. We obviously stopped at the Columbus Zoo like we pretty much always do. Their elephants had two babies earlier, so
Oh,
we got to see those. And there was a lot of other baby animals throughout their zoo as well.
oh, it's that time of year. Oh, the babies.
Yeah, I think their babies would now weigh elephants now weigh like 700 pounds, but it's like okay. They were doing last year. They were doing some construction about the American area, and that's done. And they're expanding out and doing stuff. Really enjoyed the bird show. That was highly recommended. That it was just a good time. So we did that. We also then saw a minor league baseball game. Columbus has a minor league team. It was a really nice park. And we stopped at two different 8-bit arcade kind of things, like arcades. So we played some video games. We played a little bit of pinball,
Yeah.
some skeet ball. Yeah, it was. Duck. One of them had duck bowling, so that was a lot of fun.
Hold on. You're not getting away with that. What is duck bowling?
You have. It's like the little mini pins, and your bowling ball is like a bocce ball.
Oh, I didn't know they called that duck bowling. I just called it mini bowling.
Pretty sure it's also called duck bowling.
You are correct because I'm searching it as we're talking, and it's officially known as duck pin bowling, but duck bowling is the general term that people use. Is this the one where they're on the little strings too?
Yeah.
Yeah. I have definitely done some duck bowling. I had no clue that's what it was called.
It's fair. Hey,
folks, the more you learn every day, the better it is. Learn something new every day, everyone. And that was mine.
The more you know, right?
That's right.
So, and this was all before we met up with Larry. We did all of that before we, and had some great dinner, did some stuff, but then we rolled into Origins and met up with our buddy Larry at Origins. We did so many events and won some games. I think there's like 3 little escape rooms. One of them I'm doing again because I forgot to do my side quest. I thought I did it and I didn't. And that's the one you're going to, me, just us, plus whoever else,
right,
is doing at Gen Con.
Oh, I can't wait. Larry pinged me about this on the side and said he really thought you enjoyed that one.
Oh, I did.
Yeah.
I really did. It's a really nice blend of technology and an escape room. And we'll talk about that after a Gen Con episode.
Yeah, no spoilers, please, kind of thing.
Yeah. And I'm not going to spoil it while we're in the event. My goal in that event is to find my side quest.
Yeah. Oh, interesting. I'm very interested. I got more questions, but I'm going to hold them. And we will have a discovery episode after Gen Con.
Yeah, I think you're really going to enjoy it. And that's going to come up pretty quick because Gen Con's, end of this, we're recording this in early July. Gen Con's the end of July.
If I get this edited before Gen Con, we'll be in good shape.
Right. Maybe it'll get posted right around the time of Gen Con.
I have a feeling it might. Who knows? We'll see how that comes together. But yeah, can't wait, dude. Escape room was really big. Was there any True Dungeon?
No True Dungeon at Origins. They didn't come this year because they went. My understanding is because they did their own convention earlier when we talked about RingCon.
Yeah, right. I think last episode we discussed RingCon and how awesome that was. I could see all that setup has to get torn down, put in its 18-wheeler, driven to Origins, set back up, torn back down, put in 18-wheeler, driven back. I could see the volunteers and the staff. It's just too much. Too much.
And they're going to Gen Con in like less than a month from now.
Yeah.
They go set it all back up again. So no True Dungeon, which is great, not a problem. This year, Amy and I, we left early. We just left Sunday morning and started driving back to Virginia.
Yeah.
Versus staying later because it's a drive. But we had a great time. We got donuts. Amy and I found a place that did non-dairy, non-gluten waffles. Not there, but it was like 15 minutes from the convention center. So we did that beforehand as well. And we just had a great time doing events. It was laid back. I think Origins is definitely a laid back convention. And we just had a great time. We played some stuff in their library. The library is amazing.
Did you have any bison by chance while you were there?
We did. We did the
Montana Mike's or something?
Ted's Montana. Grill.
I was so close. It had a name and a state, and I was really close.
Yeah, but anyway. Ted's Montana Grill, great place, recommend it, which is great from where that is, because you've been there before, right?
Oh, yeah.
The minor league stadium is a block away from there.
Oh, that worked out perfect.
So I was like, oh, that's cool. We ended up on a room on the 18th floor of the Hyatt, which was kind of cool. We knew the stadium was going to do fireworks, and we saw the fireworks from the stadium from the hotel room.
Wow.
And it was really cool. They were like 3 blocks away. You could hear them, you could see them.
Direct view access.
Right. And then later, on a different night, we were kind of just looking out the window. We must have seen 3 or 4 different towns doing fireworks from the view of that hotel.
Oh.
They're like way off in the distance. You could just see fireworks come up over the horizon.
Yeah, that is a different view. Everybody usually looks up when they're looking at fireworks. You were kind of looking out and looking at fireworks, and they were so close. That's neat. That's very cool to have neat little pop-up bonus adventures or bonus.
Yeah, I bet. Yeah, the stadium ones were like super close. The other ones, I think they were probably 10 miles away. Because they were in like some this way. I mean, straight ahead, some off to your right, some off to your left. So they're like different towns were doing like Saturday night fireworks. Like around 9:30 or 10, and it's like, okay, cool. That was a really neat experience. So, yeah, we did a lot of games, a lot of gaming. It was a good time. I know Amy and I played a ton of stuff, some unpub things, just a lot of different games, and just had a great time. I know got Larry in a couple things, saw the comedy show. Saw 2 magic shows. One of them actually had a real, it was not a hamster. It's what was it? No, it was a little animal.
A dove?
No, it wasn't a bird. It was like a little fit in her hand.
Gerbil, hamster.
No, I'm looking. Oh, hedgehog. It was a hedgehog.
I was close, man. I was going to get the hedgehog. It was in the list. I was getting real close.
Unfortunately, she didn't have a big turnout, but she did a great show. And then she let us pet it at the end.
It's like you were at the zoo all over.
This was great. Yeah, normally it's targeted towards kids' magic. And kids and stuff.
That's perfect for us. That's us. We're that audience.
I know, right?
Yeah.
I think there was maybe a dozen people in there. Unfortunately, she had a big room, and it was like, hey, whatever. She was really, really good. So I highly recommend that. So we had the fun trip. I know you were doing all kinds of other stuff and working.
Oh, Lord.
Where did you go?
How much did I lose is the question. That's the question, Ryan. How much did I lose? I had a work trip every year. I'm back in the AV industry. Every year there's a big show called InfoComm in Vegas this year, Orlando next year, Vegas the year after. It flips back and forth. And it's kind of our State of the Union convention. You know what I mean? A lot of new products get released. You get to meet up with everyone you know. You meet with vendors. It's very, very work related. Lots of hours, lots of eating. Not so much drinking for me. I as you know, I've cut back a little. And No late night partying like I used to in Vegas, but still $500, man. I normally can gamble a little and just kind of play around, with $500 and kind of make a little, lose a little, make a little, lose a little. But I'm always kind of having some money. My God, bro, that $500 went like that. Like it was $100 one night, $200 a night, just gone. And I was like, so I don't know if other people can comment about going to Vegas, but it sure seems like all the machines are tight. It does. It just seems like all the machines are tight. But I don't know. That was my cost of entry into the great sin city of Vegas. Really nothing big to report from Vegas. It was kind of just status quo, no big new AV things. So it was good time with my coworkers, and it was great meeting up with old people in the industry that I know. But even better than Vegas, Brian, I took a long distance trip in the EV. I went to Salida, Colorado.
Is this trip shorter or longer than your first experience to Oklahoma?
Longer. So if we
Okay.
were to put it in hours, the trip I took one way in, because I don't know the miles, so I'm going to use hours. One way in Texas to Oklahoma, 4 hours, 4 something.
Yeah.
This was 15-hour drive.
Wow.
I know. I had Ryan, when I got an EV, Ryan's an old EV master. He's a Jedi EV master. We sat down and went through all the apps you use. He's like, hey, you're kind of like a pilot. You need to plan where you're going to go. And then you need to have an alternative location in case the place you're going blows up. It worked, Ryan. It worked the very first stop. The Tesla chargers would not work with my car. PlugShare said they were open. Other people were getting their cars. Other cars that were there that weren't Tesla. I went to a different pump. Nothing. I said, we're going to alternative. And I just packed up and went to the next one, and everything was fine. Instead of just doofing around there for another 20 minutes. You know what I mean? So the EV did good. Unbelievably, the worst section, folks, of charging capabilities is West Texas. Unbelievably. New Mexico, all over. Colorado. I'm going to Salida, Colorado, a remote town in the mountains. They had 4 chargers in town. And,
nice.
And I want to say 3 fast chargers and maybe, or 4 charging locations. 3 of those were fast chargers. One wasn't. It was older, as you know what I mean, just one of the older plug types. But I was shocked at how much electricals is out there on this trip. So we made it there. We made it back. It was great. The awesome thing, we went up there to go to the Salida Wine Festival and meet a coworker friend who lives in that town, and another coworker friend was coming to the same thing. We just went up to work remote for the week and did hiking and biking and all sorts of things. We took our bikes with us. I put a hitch on the VW. So we had a really good time, but we went to the Salida Museum. And let me tell you, folks, if you get to Salida, Colorado, you got to spend the $5 and go through the Salida Museum. It is not the Lego Museum that Ryan was talking about. It was about the size of a house, a modest home, 1,200 square feet.
Okay.
And it had such great history. I sent a picture to you and Larry of the Civil War section that they had people from that area. They had old typewriters. They had old adding machines that were all from this town, right? They had a little story about them. They had stuff from the whorehouse that used to be in Salida, Colorado. They had, history-wise, it went from the beginning of Salida, even the indigenous folks of that area, up to pretty darn current day. So it was a neat little museum. I tell you, it was a fun catch on our little trip in Colorado. So I've been there before, but I've never seen that. And so we jumped in and had a great time. Other than that, those are my adventures. Couple little crazy things that just kept me. I was like that's 2 weeks, man. The Vegas trip was like a week something in the sense of I needed to recover, right? And then Salida was a Sunday to Sunday. And I tell you, retro-wise, not much going on in my world. And we got to have some retro conversation on the Retro Podcast. Save us, Ryan. Did you do anything retro?
Well, I did. Well, I'm trying to. Let's put it that way. Rob Smith For those that do Amiga stuff, probably know that name. He's done a lot of things with like floppy drives, and does a lot of. He's done like a floating. You remember those old things? I mean, not old, but the magnetic things that would like have something hovering above, like the pad.
Oh! You would put it on your desk, or you
Yeah.
bought it for your dad to put on his desk, and
Right.
it's a magnet on the bottom, and something's floating through the power of levitation.
Correct. Yeah, there was like a Levitron and some other brand names, whatever. He made like an Amiga, a Boing ball at one point, as like the red and white Amiga ball. But this time, he made something called PaulaNet, which was pretty cool idea, where he'd taken a floppy port and bridged it with a Pico, Raspberry Pi Pico, to get Wi-Fi.
Okay, this
So
is a
you
big
plug
jump
this.
from magnetic things levitating to then, what is this he made? Say this again.
All right. So it plugs into your floppy port and it presents itself as a floppy disk. But he's done some magic and written some drivers that then take this. The Amiga's going to read and write it, do whatever doing the floppy device thing, track disk device, and it will give you Wi-Fi and use
Oh,
the floppy protocol.
that blows me away, and I need to read about this.
Yep.
I know there'll be a link in the show notes. I think I need to read more about this. This is crazy.
This is very nuts. So I've got some boards made and got them. He released it for free, so you can go download the Gerbers. I went out to JLPCB and they populated like the top half. I had to go source some 23 DB23 pin male connectors to plug into the floppy port and a Pico 2W. So this came, unfortunately, when I was at Origin, so it's sitting at my house, and a buddy came over and put it inside for me. So I was like, that was nice. But yesterday I went and got my Pico 2W. You wondered why I went to Micro Center.
He wouldn't tell me, people. I was asking him, why are you going to Micro Center? He goes, oh, I'll tell you on the recording.
Correct. So I went to Micro Center, got the couple Pico 2Ws. I soldered this thing together this morning, plugged it into an Amiga. It does present itself as a floppy disk, but I have an issue. And so I'm going to go work through that. He wrote some software that you click a button and it will configure the Pico. I got the software flash, so that'll work. But then it was supposed to, you hit a scan button, it's supposed to do a Wi-Fi scan of all your Wi-Fi stuff. Nothing shows up, unfortunately. So I don't know what I did incorrectly. I have a post, so I just kind of sent that right before we started recording. So I don't know what to expect or what's going on with that. And if you close the program and launch it again, it gives you a boot block disk error until you reboot the Amiga. So I don't know if I have a solder joint that's not quite right, which is entirely possible, or I don't know, because the board's there, it was populated. You put the Pico in, you solder it in, and well, as I'm looking at it, there's a pin off the Pi that I can see the ring underneath. So I don't have enough solder probably on that one. So I'm going to have to go redo some touch-up work, because I was trying to rush through to get this thing to work.
Yeah.
Before the recording.
Podcast.
But it's tiny. Yeah, it's just, and I'm hoping it works. I can get it to work.
Now, did you buy multiple boards? And I know you bought multiple Picos.
Yes. I ended up buying 10 boards populated. You got to buy
If you're buying one, you might as well buy more than one. That's what I tell Sarah all the time. Hey, I'm already buying one. I might as well get a couple more.
Have you ever gotten a board made from like JL?
Oh, yeah. The cost becomes ridiculous to say I'm buying one. But if you're buying 10, all of a sudden that price doesn't look so bad.
It's, well, the thing is you have to buy 5.
Yeah.
JL, PCB, and I think PCBWay, both of them. 5 is your minimum. And then by the time you get it shipped here, the shipping is as much as the stupid boards
Yeah.
populated. So I'm like, well, I'll just add 5 more.
Yeah. And
'Cause
now
it
you
was
got some projects to share. So
right.
you have lots of Amiga friends, and
Yes.
we go to lots of events. Now you have some things to share.
I get this working. I'm assuming you're probably going to want one for yours.
Yeah, I know. That's why I was already like, did you get more than one board, Ryan?
Yes, I did that. And I bought these DB23 males are harder to find, but I did find some and ended up with 20 of those. So I have an extra. So I have those. Uh, I'll make you go source your own Pico
Yeah.
2W.
I think I got one in the garage right now. I think I got one in the shop right now. When you were talking about that, I'm pretty sure. Wonder if Jeremiah would do anything with Amiga stuff. I can't remember. I think he maybe has one Amiga, but
He's coming to my next meetup. So the next meetup is set, and he said he's going to bring some Amiga stuff that he picked up in a collection.
That's right. Some Amiga memorabilia.
Yes.
I'm really looking forward to seeing about that and what the pictures get come back from your event. So
Yes.
that's cool. And speaking of Amigas, buddy, guess what showed up in my mail while I was out of town too?
What'd you get, man?
I have a new case for my Amiga 500.
Oh, nice.
I finally did it. I went to that A1200 and I ordered blue, and I think they were out of the beige and they were out of black. So
Okay.
I had to just get a color, and I went blue, which I love blue. And I need to get the Commodore 64 laptop off my bench, because then this is going on the bench. And I have a place called Altex Electronics. Think of like ALTEX, right? I live in Texas, so Altex Electronics. I can buy like an HDMI bulkhead connector. So I'm going to really try and sit down with this case and all the mods we made. I am going to try and make it to where everything is efficiently and pretty installed. So that HDMI out, I want to get a little bulkhead and actually have an HDMI female at the back of my case, if that makes sense.
Oh,
And
yeah.
the GoTech, I need to get my hands around how I'm going to get my screen showing from the top and the parts inside being mounted the best they could without. Remember last time I kind of did a few little Dremel mods on the floppy disk area. So I'm hoping that I can come up with some watching online, talking to you, how to do my GoTech to where I don't necessarily have to damage the case as much. A little hole strategically drilled is awesome, but taking my Dremel and just going whack, whack, I don't want to do that to my new case.
Well, remember, what I think I tried to tell you this before, that GoTech enclosure, it comes apart.
Oh yeah, no. We got to take it all apart and figure it out.
Because then there's little cables from where the little knob is, the rotary knob, and that screen. So we should be able to set them up through the vent, or.
I kind of have it halved right now, that I have the screen and its little cables coming out through over to the top. And I just use a little bit of a double stick, and I can see the thing from the front, but I kept the knob on the side. But I'm gonna get it to where it's really clean like that, and it's done well. Not a hack job. That case was so old that I just hacked it. It was a bad case. It had already had so many problems, so it was a good one to hack on. But this one I want to keep nice and pretty to where I can bring it in the house, set it up, use it. And I'm not like dragging cables around. It's like a real unit.
Right. Well, I mean, it's a 500, so you're always dragging cables around. That's just kind of how that works.
Yeah.
But you can use the existing case when you get that mount to try to figure out where you're going to put it on the existing case and try to mount it on that one first.
That's a really good idea.
Just saying.
Yeah, Ryan. Dear listener, Ryan always has all the good ideas. That's a really good idea. That way, if I make any holes, I'm doing it on my donor before I go to my reel, and find myself like when I worked on I added the 810 switch for the Commodore floppy drive.
Correct.
And the first hole didn't work. So I had to drill a second hole, and then that one worked. but I got some more ventilation is all it did. It just gave me a little more ventilation, right? That's all. So that's all I got to report. I got a report of future things to do on RetroWise. And this weekend, I'm getting back on the bench. I got all my parts for my C64 laptop to try and get it wrapped up.
Nice. Well, I know I'll be going back to my bench to do some more soldering to go, whoops. So I figured it was something dumb I did. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to seeing what you do with your case. I really want to see this thing all nice and put together.
Yeah.
I want to see you spend the time, go do the research. You're going to go down through some YouTube rabbit holes of what did other people do to their cases and some blog posts. Because there's some really good things out there to go, hey, this is what you do.
Yeah, I think it'll be nice when it's all said and done. And thanks for getting me started on my Amiga journey, too.
That's awesome. I'm glad to help. I mean, I'm glad we found that motherboard for you. And that worked out pretty well. Let's see. For anybody that's in as closing notes, I think, you have something else.
No, closing notes are perfect timing.
Perfect. As closing notes, for those that are in the DC metro area, Northern Virginia, it will be be doing my DMV, which is DC, Maryland, Virginia, VCM, Vintage Computer Meetup, on the 29th of August. Hopefully we'll get this thing out there posted before that. I know Josh said he was going to come up and bring those memorabilia, so I'm really looking forward to seeing those. Right up from that will also be done. I do a blog write-up afterwards, and then you can see some of my old ones on my website. Also, those are in the show notes. So looking forward to that. We have Gen Con coming up here in a couple weeks. Hopefully have more output from PaulaNet here. And that's going to keep me busy. That's not even including email, which I haven't talked about in a while. Trying to get some stuff working with that too. So I'm staying busy.
Well, Ryan, let's try not to be so long with so many trips, and let's go get another one in the bank.
Sounds
with
great.
all of our good projects. Thanks, everyone, for hanging out. I hope you all have a great weekend.
Thank you all.